Why are you moaning to the US President Donald Trump that America won't buy our pork pies when, as you know, the priority is to avert a no-deal Brexit, which the Bank of England says could damage our prosperity as much as the banking crisis?
Well, let's be clear. There's an opportunity to do a great free trade deal with the United States, and the President is very gung-ho about that, and so am I, but I want to make it absolutely clear a couple of things. First of all, the NHS is not on the table. The NHS in no way can be part of the negotiations, and you heard the President this morning accept that. But also, there are real issues for UK business and manufacturers of all kinds in the barriers they face in the US. And I don't think people realise quite how protectionist sometimes the US market can be. So what I'm saying to Donald, the President, Donald Trump, is, look, this is a big opportunity for both of us, but we need to see some movement, and we need some movement from the US side
in terms of
as well. And on no deal.
But I want to ask you about that. I mean,
yes.
We know that no deal, if it happens, is going to happen on October the 31st. When will we get a trade deal?
Well, you're quite right, Robert. I mean, a trade deal with the United States is something that we can't. They want to do it within a year. I'd love to do it within a year, but that's a very fast timetable. We want a comprehensive trade deal, one that goes beyond just manufacturers and agriculture. That's the kind of the easy stuff to do. We need a really comprehensive deal that allows British insurers, British architects, British lawyers. We want aviation cabin. We want fifth freedoms for British Airways, so you can pick up in Chicago and sit down in LA. We want British shipping to be able to carry freight from New York to Boston. These are things that we're going to have to argue for, and they will take time to settle, but it can be done. And what we've done today is set up a
the economic shock of no deal is soon. The benefits of a trade deal are years away.
I see the contrast.
I'm just saying, your priorities would look to some people to be a bit weird.
No. Well, we of course on no deal. You're right in the sense that we have to prepare for it, and we have to work very hard, as we are, to minimise any possible economic consequences.
Yeah.
And as I said on the steps of Downing Street, there will be bumps on the road. There may be bumps on the road, though. With every day that goes by, with all the preparations that we're making, we think that we're minimising those risks.
Now,
and the reason for doing that, just so people remember, the reason for making all those preparations is not necessarily that we want to come out with no deal, though we're ready for it.
No.
It's to get the deal. It's to get the deal that we want.
I understand that. Now, as part of your negotiations, you do not believe that the UK owes the EU 39 billion, do you?
Well, if we come out without an agreement, it is certainly true that the 39 billion is no longer, strictly speaking, owed.
What do you think we owe?
I'm not going to get into the
7
figures,
billion?
but
8
I'm
billion?
not going to get into the figures, Robert.
But is that the right ballpark?
But there will be very substantial sums available to our country to spend on our priorities, to spend on getting our businesses
Is that the right
ready.
way to negotiate? That sounds like a threat.
It's not a threat. It's just a simple statement of it's a reality. That's the way things are.
Now,
we're not. Listen, we're being incredibly. I hope you'll agree that in the last few days, maybe you wouldn't, but I think in the last few days, there has been a change of mood. I think in the EU, they recognise that we're willing to talk about progress that can be made. Now, of course, they say that it's impossible. They say that they can't get rid of the backstop. The point that we're making to them is unless they get rid of that system that keeps the UK locked in the regulatory orbit, the trading system of the EU, with no say on those things for the UK. Unless they get rid of that, there's no way we can do a deal. And I think that point has landed.
A couple of other points. Realistically, is there any chance that negotiations can start properly with the EU on this issue, unless and until the EU thinks that you are safe, i.e. that Parliament's not going to throw you out in September?
Well, I think it would be sensible to get going now, and we will get going now. And let me give you a metaphor.
But we're not getting going.
Let me give you a metaphor. I swam around that rock this morning. Okay. Now from here, that huge rock there. From here you cannot tell that there is a gigantic hole in that rock. There is a way through. And my point to the EU...
Did you go through?
my point to the EU
is there's a hole,
there's a way through. But you can't find the way through if you just sit on the beach.
Are we leaving with or without a deal?
I think that it all depends on our friends. And I think they understand the parameters of where we are. The withdrawal agreement cannot work for the UK. It's been rejected 3 times. It contains terms that are anti-democratic that no country could possibly accept. Once I think that has really sunk in...
So it's out of our hands, it's down to them in your view.
Then we've got a chance of making progress. But, as I've said many times, get that backstop out and then we're at the races.